So the next day we left the hotel to visit the lake village, and yes, another water body. We took a boat. As you can see, the canoe were packed by the people from the village. The only thing that will take them out of the village is when they are going for trading or something important. Just the same way we travel around the land. That is how you see them. You see them on their canoes. They can be visiting from house to house, or maybe from their village to town or to the land. Those things you see, they are not bushes. They are fish farm, because those guys are predominantly fishermen. So these are fish farms. They use the palm fronts to do this. You just make a place, like just get a palm front. You see this woman and her kids, like they are comfortable, they're not scared. The same way we transport ourselves from one place to another on land, that is how they are. They are very comfortable. You see kids paddling. I think each family have their canoe, the same way we have our vehicles, keke or machine for transportation. The ones that have money use the bigger boats. If you don't have money, just like the same thing, you have your canoe that you paddle with, you move around with rather. You see, some of these buildings have 2 stories, the same way we build our houses. So it's just like I was wowed. I was like, what? Most of the houses are nice, like the inside. We visited one of the houses, the one you can see, the flashy one. It's like the woman painted her house. She even have a hotel inside where you can come and sleep if you want to. She have a shop, she have a bar. So we paid her a visit. Like it's like 2 story. Like that's a story building. That's a story building. Some of them are 2 stories, some are 3. It was amazing. It was amazing. And all on the lake. So she have this shop where she sell this art and crafts clothes. Most of them symbolize their history. So it was like I had to like go around the house. I asked, can I go around? She said, yes, it's okay. I was very surprised. She said the same way we feel comfortable at home on land, that is how they feel comfortable here. And the same way I'm feeling awkward here, that is how some of them, when they go out for the first time, feel when they're on land. I was like, what? This is like the history on how they started living there. Said it was war. From war they came, and then the crocodile saved them. It's like a hotel. You can actually sleep here. They were trying to even talk me into sleeping there. I said, no, I'm going. Yes, like there's nothing. They have kitchen, they have their parlor, they have electric, they have where they fetch water, because they don't really drink that water. It's not really clean. They have artificial land, should I say, where their kids are allowed to play. They say when the kids start walking and they're not comfortable with the woods, and maybe out of fear, they now create artificial land where their kids can play around. Wow, that's her kitchen. They cook on firewood. That's the toilets down there. Hey God, see why they can use that water. They have like water supply from outside. So this is her parlor. Wow, like all on the lake, all like everything built on the lake. Like I was so surprised. I was like, and you sleep here, you're not scared? They said no. They are used to it. They were born there, their parents were born there, their forefathers, they've been there all their life. The same way we are comfortable on land, that is how they are comfortable here. Like I said, they have churches. That's like a new building. Somebody's building something there. It's a new building. The tour guy said it seems it's a hotel or something. That's like their church. That's their church, built on water, that they had to like artificial sand to create land, and then they built something on it. There's this big school they showed me. It's a very big school. They're secondary school, and they go to school on their canoe. Some of the students have their own canoe, and some there's a church, and some of them, that's the school. They paddle to school. They park their canoe the same way you take you have your car, you drive to school, or you have your bike, you drive to school. It was fun. So when we left the place, went to Ouidah. They said it's the evil forest in Ouidah. So the main attraction there is the king who turned himself into an iroko tree. So now the forest is now like he's the center of attraction in the forest. I think he was being attacked, or his village, and then instead of him surrendering, he turned himself into an iroko tree. So that's the main thing about the forest. There are some other representations, some symbols there that have all their historic background, like this one you see here. They said he's the god of fertility. There are women who can take in, come to him, they pray to him, they call to him, and then they get pregnant. So all of we saw so many other symbols or idols, or would I say whatever. They all mean something. This one symbolized masquerade, that they use it to protect themselves before. Made of raffia. It's like a worshipper in the temple. That man is a two-faced man. He walked in the palace. So he listened with this face and gossip with the other. There are so many things like that with historical meaning. That's the temple. And I can't go in. They said you have to be initiated. You have to be initiated before you go in there. So, and I'm not initiated and I'm not ready. This is like one of the worshippers, or would I say servant, in the temple. That's another servant. This is how they dress. This is a god of continuity. That's the gate to the temple. This is one of where he said there's an oracle there. That'll be gods. It's like the evil forest, but the main attraction is the king who turned himself into an iroko tree. Instead of being defeated or being killed by the enemies, he turned himself into an iroko tree. This is where he said this is the god of wisdom. You pray to it and you get wisdom. The same way we have our traditionalists. I think there are people, they are more of traditional worshippers. Because for every place we visited, there's always one thing or the other. Just like we have in Nigeria. There's God of crafts, there's God of wisdom, there's God of innovation, there's God of hunters. This one is like hunter. And then the snake warned him not to kill him or something, a story behind. And this is like God of thunder, just like we have in Nigeria too. All of this symbolize one God or the other. God of lightning or God of rain and all that. I think they are majorly traditionalists. So this is the iroko tree that the said king turned himself into. My tour guide insisted that the tree is still breathing. If I touch it, I will feel heartbeat. I didn't feel anything. No. He said I'm the only one that didn't feel. I said, okay, sorry. But seriously, I don't know, maybe because I'm hungry, but I didn't feel anything. Hey God. So this is another structure that symbolizes a worshipper. This is a farmer. This is a soothsayer. They said he said the reason they did this is because it was when he had a vision that the king will die. And in the palace, you can't say the king will die. They will cut off your head. So he sat down there. They said for a long time thinking of what to say. So he now said the king will live long and only for the king to die in 3 days. So that was why he escaped death, by lying to the king. So all of this symbolize one thing or the other. So this is the exit. On our way out, they have a little bar where you can sit and eat or drink. This is the entrance. I didn't get the entrance earlier, so this is the entrance. So from here we went to the slave. Okay, no, first of all went to the promise. We visited the promise. This is like an art stadium, or what do I even call it? Called the promise. said it's a foreigner who came and used, the readily available materials. You will see. And just created art. No story, just they said you come up with your story, your imagination yourself. I will show you. Like, there are some things you just see and then they'll say, you'll be like, what is this? You're expecting them to interpret. They say, no, use your imagination. It's actually fascinating and the place is kind of calm. The place is kind of cooling, like maybe because I was tired. But there are people there, but everybody just quiet, think cracking their brain, should I say? Or, coming up with interpretation to all these things that the guy did. These are just dry leaves. What you just saw earlier, dry leaves. They're just dry leaves, They say you just come up with your interpretation. That this symbolizes the promise. I just write here like leaves, banana leaves and all that. You just gathered and. But actually there's this thing that pulled you to the place. Like, I actually felt calm. I felt peace within me while inside the place. Seriously. But this is art. This is really, I believe this creativity at its best. And they're normal things you see. Like, these are pieces of rocks, crystals, placed on the wall neatly. No interpretation, no story. They say come up with your own story. Wow. This is a painting of a man's leg and hand sitting. Like a beautiful painting because I thought it was rough at the surface. This man also, I was like, why didn't they paint the head? He said because the identity, the face means nothing. That is the heart. That means everything. That the identity of a man is not his face or something. I was like, wow, this is beautiful. That's a man sitting. So beautiful. Like each of these things is just these are wood cut in square and then placed on the wall neatly. It's not like this is a fabric. He said they got the inspiration from this palm tree leaves. That's the front. That's a church. I was just outside the window. And these chairs that when you sit down, you can sit and meditate. That when you sit, you think clearly. And I believe because just being around the place, I was calm. This is like charcoal that is just threw on the floor. This is a book about the promise. It's an empty book. You can write your own story. These are laid like polythene bags. Decorated, like, my God. Seriously, the man he's really an artist. He's really an artist. So these are just leaves on the wall, dry leaves, scattered on the wall. Seriously, I can stay there forever. I can just sit there for the whole day. It's so beautiful. That place is just like you just sit down, you won't want to leave. But we left. This is like the exit. And there are some structures outside. This man with 3 heads. They say that's his wife. And she's Mommy Water. So I asked if I can call him Papi Water. And they laugh and were like, no, that he has a name. I can't pronounce the name, so that's the name. You can pronounce it good. So he has 3 heads and he represents the Mommy Water's husband. So at the exit, you can actually just write something, make a promise, a wish, kind of, and drop it there. This is where you stay and write. They have paper and pen. I said, no, thank you. So most of Benin Republic is about craft, arts, and it's beautiful. Anywhere we visit, I just, oh God, as if I should pack all these things and, bring them back to Nigeria. And they all symbolize something. There's always a story behind each and every of these things you see. And they are beautiful. They are beautiful. That's their history. Their history, so beautiful. So we went to the slave market. This spot represents the slaves, how they line up the slaves, how the white men, colonial masters or the slave buyers line up the slaves to sell them. This is where they sell slaves. And of course, how they pick the best, the strong. They check your teeth, they check how strong you are, how healthy you are. If you're a woman, how beautiful. If you're a man, how strong, how masculine, and all that. So they line you up like that, check you out and buy you, and they march you down. They call this place the gate of no return. Yes, of course, this gate was built later. It was built later. So they called it no return because as of then, the Benin people believe once you get to this point, these white people take you on their ship. And of course, because they can't see the end of this sea, they believe whoever leaves this place is not coming back, and then you're dead. So some of them, according to my tour guide, said they commit suicide. They just jump into the sea to kill themselves instead of going to where they can't come back, or because they don't know where they're taking them to. They just decide to take their own lives. That's me. Yes, I'm in love with water bodies already. I wasn't properly dressed if not. So we enjoyed the view. This is where they ship the people away. So we left, and then I said, before I go, let me test one of your native or local dishes. So he said this is one of the local dish. This is agidi, what we call agidi in Nigeria, made of cornstarch and this pork. So this watery substance you see is like the stock. They cook it and you eat it. You get this. I think they mix it together or something. But just like we have our swallow. I think that's how it is. So I said, oh yeah, test, let me see. So he tasted it. I said, oh, I think I know pork, I know agidi, though the stock is new. So after eating, we came back to the hotel room. I came back to my hotel room and then I've shared my cake like the previous day, and I shared some. And I had my cake for dinner. Oh. It was actually a wonderful time. That was the last day of my tour. It was a wonderful evening, and I rested and I moved. On the next video, I will show you the next thing I did.